catalyst for change with the chance to thrive. Crystal is the one to stir up gifts and save lives. You get exposure, promotion, and marketing too. And advertise for business owners just like you. On Storytime, your interview is global. Virtual or in person, just come on the show. Yo, your story matters. Crystals will open the door. 40 years of experience, ready to give you more on Storytime. Get ready for Storytime. Hey, come on.
How you doing today, everybody? Thank you for joining. This is Crystal. It's story time. I am so excited. Good evening. Technology is so funny. Like, oh my goodness. I want to say welcome if you're coming in from any of the platforms, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Streamio, welcome. And to all those who will go back and look and listen to this later on iHeartRadio and Spotify and Apple Music and all those platforms. Thank you in advance. We are so excited for all those people who are listening to us on Storytime. Let me tell you, I am Crystal, and we have a show here where we just enjoy letting you meet new people. And it's where human beings connect through life experiences, okay? So the only thing we're going to ask you to do when you come here, we're going to ask you a few things. If you don't mind, we just want to ask you to do a few things. But in the meantime, I want you to put on the calendar for Wednesdays and Sundays at 8 p.m. That's when we're here, Wednesdays and Sundays at 8 p.m., okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things I want to ask you to do while you're here is I want you to take a minute to share this with about 5 friends. If you don't mind, share this with about 5 friends tonight, because I think you're gonna get some stress relief today. Okay, you're gonna get a little stress relief. You know, they say laughter is good for the soul, and I believe that this young man tonight is going to have you laughing a little bit. If you know anything about him, he definitely will. All right. So thank you in advance for doing that and for sharing to 5 people so that they can know that we are here. One more favor I'd like to ask you to do while you're here, okay? It doesn't cost you anything at all. The other thing I'd like to ask you to do is something that it makes a big difference when you're out here in the internet world, in the social media space, and that is to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really makes a difference. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So in the meantime, I want to take a minute to show you who we have coming up tonight. It is a young man that I met on Instagram. I met him on Instagram, and he truly has been funny and worth. And let me let you see the picture in case you didn't see it. His name is Vino. His name is Big Vino. Matter of fact, they call him Big Vino. And if you've seen him on any of the platforms or any of the stages, then you already know why they call him Big Vino, right? He's hilarious, and he's one of a kind. He's definitely one of a kind. And I'm so excited that he took a minute to come here tonight. We've been talking about this for over a year, y'all. We really have. So I'm just glad that I got him here tonight. And I'm just going to go ahead and bring him out here. We got Big Vino in the building. Big Vino, are you there?
I might be. How you doing? Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's up?
What up, though?
Finally, we made
it. This has been a long time coming. You know,
it's long time coming. It's been a long time coming, and I'm grateful. And I'm kind of glad that it's happening now because you blowing up, man. You blowing up.
I'm just staying consistent. I'm staying consistent in what I've been doing. That's it. Just trying to consistently give them the consistency that consistently makes you laugh.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And you're doing it well. You're doing it well, you know. So good evening to you. Thank you so much. I know you're just getting settled. So I thank you so much for fitting me in your schedule.
Oh, look, I'm not even settled. I just stopped to have a moment with you. Look, as soon as
A
I'm done
moment.
here, we're gonna do some more running around.
Oh
Look,
my
I can
goodness.
rest when I'm dead. You know, I got people to see. I got rights to wrong. I mean, wrongs to right. But I think that's how it go. How does it go?
Yeah, you gotta do
I,
all
I
of
got
us.
some rights to
Listen,
wrong.
yes, you do, Big Vino. And listen, I want you to tell the people, I told them a little bit about how I met you, but I want you to just take a moment to tell the good people who is Vino, the comedian. Who is Vino?
Well, you know, most would say I'm just a man, but I think of it more than that. I think of Big Vino as a thought, a hope,
Mm,
inspiration, you know, story of redemption, really. It started in 1982. My father, you know, he had a twinkle in his nether regions and he wanted to alleviate himself and he sought out my mother, you see. And then 9 months later, I was there.
you was
Okay.
there. Was
I
you the
was
only
there.
one there? Was you the only one
No,
there? Did you have some siblings? Did they come along the way too?
I have two sisters. I have two little sisters. I'm the oldest of them. Um, you know, just I spent a lot of years disappointing people, so I've been trying to just rectify a few rights. You know, they say when you know better, you do better,
Yes. Yes.
and I've reached a mature age where I've learned that some of the stuff I used to do, I got to do better. So I switched up a few things, you know, and said this comedy thing might be my opportunity to maybe make it to heaven.
Well, let's go back before we go into it. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Vino. He's an authentic comedic voice who's hilarious, anecdotes, and candid insight endear him to all generations. So it doesn't matter if you're baby boomer or Gen X or whoever, you really will enjoy yourself if you go to one of his shows. But Vino, before we
Yeah.
talk about you
You
now,
ever said a cuss word under your breath, you will enjoy yourself in my show.
yes, you will. But before we go there, take me back to childhood. Was it Jersey? Is that where you're from originally?
Yeah, I'm from Newark, New Jersey.
Newark?
Brick City.
Wow.
Yeah, Brick City.
Wow.
Bog Avenue, Osborne Terrace, Weekway section. You know,
What? Man,
I
Market
did a
Street, I
lot
got
of
a lot of people up
yeah,
there in Newark, man. Oh my.
yeah, a lot of I did a lot of running around on the number blocks. You know, shout out 20th, shout out Dub Block. You
Wow.
know, I did a lot of that's my childhood. That's my grow up right there. We used to eat Italian cheeseburgers and hot dogs. All that mean is we put French fries on it.
Wow.
When you put
Now,
your
did
French
you
fries
go
on your
to
hot dog, it's Italian now.
which high school did you go to? East Orange?
I went to Weekway. No, I went to Weekway.
Weekway.
Yeah,
Wow.
Weekway. I'm an Indian.
I got a lot of friends from Newark that went to school with me to my HBCU down in Raleigh to St. Aug. A lot of them came. There's a guy there named Charlie Logan. Did you know CeeLo? CeeLo
No,
recruited a lot of people and brought them down here from Jersey.
he might have been there before my time. You see, I graduated class of 2000, so
Okay.
I was part of that new millennium class.
Okay.
I graced the halls there in the late 1900s.
Okay.
That's when I had my time in Weekway High School. Pretty smart in school, you know. Just I had a knack for the streets, though. I had
So you was a
that
bad.
bug in me. Not a bad boy, just a money getting dude. You know, like at that age, it was like it wasn't really bad or good. It was a lot of things were just money related. It was like, hey, you either got money or you didn't. You know what I mean? You was broke at school. You had a fresh white t-shirt on, or your t-shirt was kind of dingy because you washed it. You know what I mean? Like that was our whole thing in school. It was like we want to look fresh, but we don't want to be overdressed.
Yeah.
That was the whole 90s.
Let me tell you something. My favorite spot and most memorable spot in Jersey is two things. There's a place where you go get some shrimp and they put it in a brown paper bag. You know the spot I'm talking about? And man, the shrimp is so good. That place where I go get the shrimp. And the second place that's memorable is the Zanzibar. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Zanzibar. The,
My,
the
my.
the the heyday of the Zanzibar was before my time. I got there when I really wasn't supposed to be there. It was on the tail end, but I know very much of it. My mother was notorious in those types of environments. My dad was a play out here somewhat. So my family was known to be in those spots. But by the time I came up and started doing what I was doing, it was mostly strip clubs like Jersey Girls and Cinderella's, Queen of Hearts. It was we by the time I came around, the go-go club was the time. Everybody wanted to be a stripper.
Yeah, yeah. So let me ask you something. When you were a little boy, was you the class clown?
I was a jokester. I could make anyone laugh, but I wasn't the dedicated class clown. I didn't win class clown in my superlatives. I was most likely to succeed. There were people who were far funnier than me, I feel, in making people laugh. Like there were people who they didn't care about their grades as long as they got the class to laugh. Me, I said, I'm not going to be here too long. I'm going to get my grade. I'm not going to do no homework, but I'm going to get my grades, and then I'm going to get up out of here. I was, like I said, I was the money-getting dude. I was running around with the homies, We smoke a little bud, and then I played sports,
So hold up, back up. You said most likely to succeed. Did I hear you? That was the joke, right?
No, I in high school. I was voted most likely to succeed. I was the prom king. I was Mr. Spring, Mr. Baseball,
What?
Mr. Aries. Yeah, no, I was a playboy. I was, like I said, I got money. I've always been handsome. I just didn't like to acknowledge the fact that I'm handsome. I felt like that would make me vain if I said yes, I'm handsome. But nowadays,
But you always the big boy?
Yeah, I always been that. Always been. I was in my high school. There was 3 big dudes. It was me, my man Ibn, and my man Big Lou. I was the smallest of the 3. I was the smallest of the 3 big men in the school. So, but I was athletic. I had an athletic build, so I could, I could run, I could jump, I could.
So, wow. So, Vino, did you have some scholarships?
I had academic scholarships actually to college.
Really?
Yeah, I scored pretty high on my SAT, and that opened up the door for a few things. But like I said, all of that was kind of squandered because I had a mentality about criminal shit. So I was always looking for an angle to get quick money and get on fast, So I was always like even when I went to college, it was more about learning how to be a better criminal. Really? I met connects that I really shouldn't have met in there. Like they made it easier for me to advance, feloniously.
Wow. So let me ask you this. How did you get exposed to this? We know about the streets of Newark and everything. Was it because you hung around with the kids, or was it because, you was a latchkey kid and you was on your own? How did you go that route?
Just wanting nice things, and then one day, Miles was short and was like, yeah, I don't know what to do. And I was like, I know what to do. I know what to do. And then I went out and made something happen. So,
and you said a couple of times when I listened to you on IG, you talked about your background and you talked about doing some things, making some money. And you also talk about some women. Was that a joke or was that true?
No, that's very much true. There are women to this day that want me to come back to the life. I don't like, some people call it pimping. I don't call it pimping. I think of myself more as a facilitator. You see, I facilitate these women's safety. I was facilitating better deals for them because, believe it or not, some men are chauvinistic and they try to take advantage of women. Believe it or not, I know this is shocking news to some of y'all, but some men really try to take advantage of women, and they try to offer them deals that are like not conducive to, making proper money. And sometimes when a person like myself steps in, they're more inclined to give an honest deal. So
Wow.
let's say that you, as a young lady, you're working out a deal where you say, I want to come dance at your party. And the guy says to you, I'll give you $100. But to me, he'll say, Vino, I know you got some of the finest women out there. I know you be with some real classy girls. I'll give you $200 for every girl you can bring to this party. Now, yeah, of course, I'm going to ask for my little percentage. But you're still going to walk away with more than just 100 that you would have did if you negotiated it yourself. And that's where I say my talent is. I facilitate you a better deal.
Wow.
So
Okay,
most
so
people
all
look at
of
it like,
it,
oh, they giving you money for something they could do themselves. Actually, you can't do this yourself. You won't be able to work the same deal. The relationships I
wow.
have, the way people respect me and look at me is just different.
So were you overprotective about your two sisters also?
My sisters, I don't have to be overprotective about my sisters. My sisters, they know what it is with me. You know, I've instructed my sisters. I've given them like pretty decent instructions in the streets. Like, because my thing is with women, and I don't mean this in a chauvinistic way, but I always tell women, don't argue with men publicly. My sisters know not to argue with men publicly. You can have a disagreement with a man. You can feel slighted. You can feel whatever, but don't argue with that man publicly. If you feel like it's going to come to words and verbal back and forth, come get me, because I want to see him keep that same energy with you that he does with me. There ain't no need for you to argue with him. There's no need for you to get loud. You know who your brother is. You know what he's capable of. Just come get me.
Wow. So you had a name in the streets. They respected you when you came.
That's how I ended up with dealing with a lot of the ladies, because my name was in the streets. They I put hands on a few people, and they seen that I was efficient in dispatching of people who would get in my way. So it just became hey, if I'm with him, I know I'm safe.
Wow.
I know we're going to make it home.
Wow. Dimitri said that's because you thought you was like Ed the Lover. And he said, your name is good in the streets, though. So I saw in your bio, it said, at your core, Big Vino sought to leave the lifestyle of drugs and crime. So he packed up and moved away from everything he knew to try his hand at an ordinary life in Virginia. Vino, what made that happen? Take me back to that day or that time in your life when you made that decision. I'm out of here.
I was sitting in my penthouse apartment at the time, and I just remember, I don't even remember what day of the week it was. I think it was a weekend. It might have been a Friday or Saturday. No, matter of fact, it was a Sunday morning. And, it was football season. Like back then, I used to lock in with football, red zone, NFL package. Like I like football. So I was sitting in the house all day, smoke, drink a couple beers, watch the game. And I'm scrolling through my phone one of those days, and I'm just like, wish I had a homie to invite over and just chill. Like, I don't got nobody to just kick it with. You know what I mean? Like, no homie. Like, I'm scrolling through my phone, and I'm seeing a bunch of numbers and names of people who were dead or in jail. And I'm like, damn, I don't got nobody for real. Like, I can't kick it. I ain't got no friends. And then, you just get in one of those rabbit holes of, shit, it's going to be me soon if I don't make a change. Like, you gonna be a name in your phone that ain't here no more. Like, you got to do something different. So I was having a whole crisis in the house. I'm drunk. I'm high. I'm paranoid. I'm looking over the city. I'm thinking about everything going on. I was like, I got to go. So I hollered at my uncle. My uncle was here in Virginia. I said, Uncle, I got to make some changes. I got, like, if I don't make a change soon, you'll be burying your nephew in the next 5 years or so. You'll bury me in the next 5 years.
Wow.
You would definitely bury me. I need your help. I need to figure some things out. He was like, he basically told me, he said, don't come down here if you bullshitting. If you're not absolutely serious about change, I mean, you got to give up some things. You got to. And so I started making those changes. It took me like 2-3 weeks, but cleared my whole schedule, gave away everything that meant anything that would connect me back to the old life. Gave away the plug, all that. Gave away, divvied up territories between a couple of dudes. Like, hey, you can have this people over here, you can have this clientele. And then I said, I'm out, fellas.
So was it like one last homie that got killed or died, or was it like something drastic that happened, or it was just literally you had epiphany? You just sat there one day and said, I'm sick and tired of this. I'm tired.
Yeah, it didn't happen with nobody. Like I've watched friends die since I was 14 years old. I buried a whole lot of friends. So it wasn't nothing like that. I was actually surprisingly calm at a lot of funerals. It's like most of them epiphanies come. It just come on a normal day. You just thinking it's a regular ass day. It was Sunday. I was watching football. And then next thing I know, about 2-3 o'clock, I'm in there like, I gotta make changes. This is not working. Oh shit. And
Dimitri said, you know you're dumb when you give away the plug. He said, when you give away the plug, you know.
You done. Yeah, you absolutely done when you give away the plug. You give away the connect, man. You're like, oh, man.
So in 2-3 weeks, you were settled and didn't think about changing your mind or going back. You didn't look back at all.
No, I mean, there were people who was like, why is you doing this? Where you going? Like, what you gonna do? Like, you have all those naysayers. And to be honest, a couple of times before I even decided to leave, I said to myself, let me just try to get a regular job up here. Like, let me just switch it up here. But the problem was I set such a reputation for myself in Jersey that nobody would believe that I was on a legitimate route. I went to friends who had legitimate jobs and said, hey, could you put me on to it? I had a friend who was working at Kmart at the time. He was working for loss prevention at Kmart. So, I'm like, I'm a criminal. I know all the shit that they do, all the little sneaky tricks they got. So let me holler at him and see if he could put me on with a gig. I could definitely be an asset to loss prevention.
Yeah.
And he was like, look, I ain't got no job for you right now, but I know a way we could rob the store blind. We can get them. We can blame it all on the Mexicans. I said, what? I'm trying to come to you and be legit. You telling me about a jukes where we could go to jail for real.
So I want to say first and foremost, was that a hard decision? I mean, right now, if you run into some young brothers that are out there and they're going down the wrong path, do you try to encourage them to make a change the way you did?
That's tricky for me because I feel like at times I'm not this person without that person. I don't understand grace. I don't understand mercy. I don't understand that God has to show you some things before you can see some things. You dig? So I can't tell a man not to go on his journey. I can just tell a man to be wise on his journey and assess what means the most to you, because that's really what it all boils down to you. What's your priority? What's going to drive you moving forward? Because 10, 20 years ago, I could have had a child and never decided to pick up a gun or hit the block. I could have, you know what I mean? It's all about the journey that's put before you. So I can't tell a man, don't do that. I can say, hey, I used to be like that, man. I had to make some changes, brothers. So, make sure whatever you're doing is worth it in the long run if you're going to have a plan for yourself, because it's only 2 ways out. I let people know that the end game of all of it is only a couple ways out.
Wow.
I got lucky because I decided to fold my hand and say, yo, I'm good. I had enough. I think I'm gonna cash out right here.
So Vino, you always make a joke about not having time to have a woman in your life. And I never know whether to take you serious or not with that. And you always say, the comedy is your woman. So never fell in love?
Oh, I've been in love many times. I'm in love with a woman right now. She just won't have me. I'm not good enough for her. That's why I work so hard to be a great comedian. When I'm good enough for her, I promise you, she might say my name out loud.
True
But
story.
until then, oh yeah, true story. True story. I'm look, I'm absolutely head over heels. But when I become a better man, then she'll have me probably.
Well, that's good. And maybe then y'all will be good together. And then I know you're not going to give up comedy because that's who you are. So take us to when you decided to try comedy. So you got to Virginia, you told your uncle, I need a place to stay. He set you up. You couldn't get the job at Kmart. So when did you figure out that you wanted to go to comedy, and how did you start? Do you remember the first show?
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, what happened was I lived in Virginia for 2 years before I started comedy. I came down here, like I said, I had a little nest egg. Me and Unc, we started working on some things. We got business popping. I actually got jobs down here. I just wasn't really good at them. I wasn't really a working type. I'm the type of dude, I work at my own pace. So sometimes you get the jobs and they're like, you're not working fast enough for us. You're not working hard enough for us. And I'm like, well, I'm working hard enough for me. So, but I before I actually jumped into comedy, the last job I had, I was working with this cleaning company, startup company. And we just clean office buildings, and they would just basically give me a building to clean every night. So I go through these buildings and I clean. I really be working hard. Like I understand the value of a hard day's work now. So I'm working, like literally busting sweats, like to the point where I have to bring another shirt to work because I sweat so hard that this shirt is done. The shirt that I was wearing was done. It was soaking wet. And I remember it was New Year's Eve, 2016, going into 2017. And the dude who was supposed to be like my manager, supervisor dude, he comes to the site that I'm working at to give me my check. And giving me my check, and he's like, yeah, well, usually we're done about 11:30. You'd be closer to midnight every night. We're cutting it in early tonight, so you could take off, but I need you to work harder, man. I'm like, I'm soaking wet, sweating, my back hurt. Like I ain't never had to work when my back hurt, and you telling me I'm not working hard enough. So I quit right there on the spot. Say, yeah, my man, look, I appreciate this opportunity, but I think this is the last night I'll be working. You could find somebody else to take over for the new year. And then I was done.
Like that.
Just like that. I quit right there on the spot. I never had nobody tell me I didn't work hard enough.
And so when you made the decision, you know what? I'm not working for nobody else.
Well, no. I was like, I'm about to go back to dope. I'm about to turn out Virginia. I said, I'm about to turn Virginia out. Oh, man. Nino Brown in Virginia. That's what I thought to myself the day I quit. But I was like, I started talking to my homeboy. He was back home. We was laughing and talking. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm about to get his pack. We about to get it jumping down to Virginia, man. And we was talking and we was just laughing. And he's like, remember that time Moo was going to shoot you, man? He was like, I carried your mother groceries up the stairs. And he was like, and then he didn't shoot you, and we was laughing about it. But it was like, hey, we laughing about how I joked my way out of a gunfight.
Right.
So it was like, one of us was gonna have to go that evening. Somebody was gonna get shot. But I was able to, cooler heads prevailed. And then we was laughing, and both of us still walking around today. So I was like, I should be a comedian, man. Because y'all was funny, but I was funnier than y'all. We started laughing. I was like, they do got this little club up here. They got the little amateur night. I should go up there and see what's up, man. And then I signed up. I looked it up online and I signed up. I was like, yo, we in there. And I got on the first night I tried. And then it worked out.
I saw that you wrote in your bio, you said that you did the debut at the Virginia Beach Funny Bone.
Yeah, Virginia Beach Funny Bone. That's my home club. That's the first place I ever performed comedy. I found out later that it was really a grand stage. That's what everybody is like, because everybody else, when they perform, is usually at like an open mic and it's like 7 or 8 people there or something. Me, the first time I ever performed, there was 250 people in the building. It was a completely packed house. It was like, when I say overwhelmingly packed, like it was a little, it made your booty hole tighten a little bit. Like you know, the little
Wow.
nervous poops, you get one of those. I'm like, oh my, I got to get in front of all these people. Okay. But I handled it. I went up. It wasn't, you know, I look back at it now and I'll be like, oh yeah, you were trash. You weren't good at all. But that night it worked. And the people loved it, and they loved it so much that I actually went too long, so I got disqualified.
Oh
Because
my
you only
goodness.
supposed to do 5 minutes, and at 5 minutes and 1 second, they're gonna cut the lights off on you. So that's what happened. I was in the middle of finishing up the last joke, and they cut the lights off on me, and it was like, okay, yeah, thank you. I had fun, and I got up off the stage. But then the funny part was the guy who went up after me was horrible. He bombed. And they started screaming, hey, bring the fat dude back. Bring the big dude.
Oh wow.
Turn the lights off on this dude. Bring the big boy back. And then I was like, oh, I needed that. Okay, yeah, I'm here. I'm doing this from now on. This is. And I was like, I'm never going to do nothing else.
Wow. So
And I never did nothing else since.
I see where you wrote, you said that night he captured the audience heart and indefinitely set the tone for your career. So that night is when a comedian was born. That night is when you said, oh my God, they want more. I'm going to do this.
Yeah. I said to myself, damn, why have I not been doing this for the last 10 years? Like, it was so glaringly obvious that I was built for it. Like, just, and I'm not even saying like, okay, like I said, the material, probably not the best, but the comfortability on stage, the transition, the instant rapport that I be building with people on stage, they mess with me. Like I capture attention as soon as I walk in the room. I'm a big guy, but also I have a voice that naturally projects. So I'm good with a microphone.
And it's your demeanor too. The way you come out there and you just look at the phone and I have to say, because I've seen you and you do command attention, and people want to know what you can ready to say, what you can ready to do, because the way you come out there, the way you present yourself, you make people hang on their seat, go, okay, what's this guy getting ready to do? You know, so
and that's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for. I want them to say, hey, and that was funny because my uncle never did no entertainment in life. He said, nephew, just remember, leave him one more. And he walked away from me. I said, I barely got 5 minutes. I don't know how to have one more from 5 minutes.
So Demetrius asked you a question. He said, how long did it take you to perfect your first set?
I'm still working on perfecting my first set, to be honest with you. Like, when people say use those kind of phrases, I'm careful about that, because if we're like, I like to say we're perfectly imperfect. And I used to have an old pimp phrase where we say perfecting imperfect mentalities and practices. And we're just trying to perfect what's imperfect. There's nothing perfect about what we're doing. There's nothing perfect at all. Like, to be perfect is to be God, and we're not godly at all. We're in his image, but we're not God. So right. The search for perfection, it will be an endless search. I've never seen somebody say I've delivered the perfect set, because there's always going to be something you can look back on and say I can fix that. But I'm always we're constantly trying to perfect the set. Now, for me to get comfortable with however many minutes they're telling me that I need to do, that takes some time. That takes dedication, and it's not really a time frame. It's a discipline frame.
He said that's
it's a discipline frame, because it's more about, do you have the discipline? Like, people don't understand me for real when I say I be up early in the AM like I'm still in jail. I'm up early every day. I write for 2 hours every day, even if I just sit there, smoke a J, and put my pen in my hand and write down something stupid. I put it down on paper because I could write 10 ideas today and one of them stick and be the one that changes the trajectory of my career.
So you do material every day, or just to keep the creative juices flowing?
It's to keep the creative juices flowing, but it's also to create new material every day because, like you said, you don't know where the inspiration for the next big joke is going to come from. Like I've been with women that'll be like, "Why you joke all the time?" Well, because I'm a comedian, and something I say joking around with you can translate on stage, and then that be the joke that get me on TV, that gets me a movie deal, that gets me a sitcom. That, you know what I mean? That could be the joke. So if I'm working on it all the time, then what excuse do you have? Because especially if you're my woman, why would you be mad that I'm joking all the time? I'm making us a living.
So how does she know when to take you serious though? Because that's why you heard me say, is that for real though? Because I know you're a jokester.
Well, the funny part is a lot of stuff I say is dead serious. It's just y'all think it's funny. I'm dead serious, but y'all think it's funny. Like even when I was saying a while ago, look, I ain't got no lady, I'm concentrating on comedy. The comedy was my girl. She's an abusive girlfriend. She's abusive. She cheats. She mess with every dude she can. She never at home at night. And then you could be the best thing that happened, and she gonna neglect you. That's what comedy is.
Yeah.
She's a harsh mistress.
You always say that about comedy. So Vino, now you've opened up for some of the biggest names like Coco Brown, D.L. Hughley, Ali Sadiq, Vanessa, Mike Mitchell, Michael Collier, so many, and Mr. Miller. Tell me about that first experience and how did that feel when you opened up for your first prominent comedian?
Prominent comedian. I remember
who was the first?
The first prominent. Well, you see, that's crazy because it's like there was hosting and there was featuring. So I hosted for everybody in my first couple of years. Like I was the house host for the Funny. I was the house host for the Funny Bone in Virginia Beach for most of COVID because everybody else was scared to host and scared to be around people. So one of the first big names I opened up for was Arnez J, Lil Duval. And those were all right, but those weren't really like, I didn't get a lot of time. The first time I got a lot of time opening up for somebody, it was for Ali on a New Year's. And it was to the point when I first got to like really being able to handle 20 minutes straight. Like I'm like, okay, I've been practicing, I've been killing it at different shows, I've been hosting for years. They're gonna give me time to really stretch out and cut up. So I was with Ali for a New Year's weekend. It was 5 shows. And we did New Year's Eve. It was a good experience. It was an awesome experience. This was before Ali time. Like Ali was always great, but he had just started turning the corner to like, this was right before Domino Effect, like right before he really started really hitting it hard. Okay. So, you know, I had great respect for Ali at that point. Like he probably was in my like most influential comedians for what I was taking from the game that he was kicking. And so I was really excited to work for him. So at the end of that weekend, I asked him how I was doing. And that's when like the lessons really started.
And so what he watched and what did he say? What was his announcement?
He watched my set and he said, scrap everything. And that devastated me at first because I was like, scrap everything. And then he explained what he meant. He said, scrap everything. You got a good 20 right now, but your goal is to have more than that. So scrap all that, put it on the shelf and start over and talk about things that you don't even talk about right now. So now you talk about different topics and then challenge yourself to talk about topics without talking about sex, without talking about this, without talking about that, and give yourself different outs. And he started explaining because you're going to run into situations when somebody going to step on some of your premises. They're going to step on some of your jokes. Not saying they're going to steal your jokes, but they're going to step on some of your jokes. And you got to be able to transition and pivot and do something different. And he said, that's how you'll build a catalog. So he said, next time I see you, I want to see a whole different 25. And that year, I wrote 4 different 20-minute sets because I was like, this what Ali said do, this what I'm about to do. And that's when I started really transitioning to be the real monster. Like,
that's a good point. Demetrius said he seems to be real serious. Ali seemed to be real serious. I've seen him too. He came to Raleigh, and I seen him when he came to Raleigh. Did you come to Raleigh yet? Because I know you were coming. You didn't come yet.
Yeah, I'm in Raleigh all the time. I'll probably be in Raleigh in July. I'm out there like every week. I do an open mic with my partner that I do MVP with, my podcast. So I'm out there all the time. We're shooting that. I'm on the radio out there, ESPN 99.9 The Fan, Sports Shop Radio. I'm out there regularly. I got some shows coming up in Winston-Salem and Durham coming up soon. So
good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
You just doing your thing, man. I'm telling you, it seems like since I met you, you are really busy now. Like you're booked and busy for sure.
Well, I'm trying to stay proactive. That's hard to do in this business. You got to stay. That's the one thing I'm happy that my mentor Coco has taught me. Coco Brown. She taught me. She said, keep yourself. Be proactive about your dates. Don't wait for nobody to come looking for you. Go let people know what you have to offer. And she let me know from the rip. She said, Vino, you are absolutely funny. That's why I came and got you. Shout out to Coco Brown too, because she came and got me at a time.
You're natural. You are
natural.
Yeah,
when I got with her, I was about to quit comedy. I really was. And she came and got me. I'm like, man, I've been doing this for a minute and nobody really trying to mess with me. Nobody don't want to hear nothing I got to say. And then she said, Vino, you want to come do Denver? If it works, I'm gonna work. And I said, I ain't never been to Denver. Let's go for it.
Wow. And since then, where have you been since then? What states have you gone to now?
Oh man, look, I've been all around the country since then. Well, what we do? We did Denver, we did Dallas or Fort Worth. No, that's Arlington. Then did Houston. Then did Pleasanton out in the Bay Area. Then been to Cali. Then been to Louisiana. Then been to Alabama. Then been to Baltimore. Well, I've been to Baltimore. Those were the old dope days. But I've been places now strictly comedy related.
Yes.
And that is beautiful to me.
Okay, so it's time to go out the country. You have your passport?
Oh yeah. I got my passport as soon as they freed me up off probation. As soon as they said you good, I got me passport. So I haven't been anywhere yet because, like I said, my first trip, I want to go out the country. I want to take a young lady out and put her up under the sun in the sand, rub on her for a little bit. So I don't want to really take that first trip without companion. You know what I mean? And I keep thinking that they're gonna try to kidnap me in another country. And I've been trying to let these people know, do not kidnap me if I'm in your country. Don't be trying to drug me and snatch my kidneys out. I got diabetes. You're gonna get the sugars if you try to give my kidney to somebody. You're gonna get the sugars if you try to give my kidney to somebody. So y'all need to stop with that. That's why I want a travel companion to make sure I don't be spreading the sugars.
Yeah, somebody need to put you on their tour. I would love to see you on a tour with someone and just really go around.
Oh man, look, that's coming real soon. I know it is. I actually just recorded this very day, earlier today. Yes. I just recorded my first TV appearance doing comedy. So I'm gonna be on TV. I'm gonna be sending y'all the link soon. Y'all can check it. They're gonna stream it on YouTube after they air it on the CBS affiliate out here. But it's called Coast Comedy Live. I think I did really well. They told me that everybody seemed to really enjoy what I did, even though I didn't get the curse or nothing. But I'm funny without having a curse.
Let me tell you something about you. You have a natural personality that is lovable. It's you don't have to cuss. You probably are losing half of your audience doing that. Try a couple of clean sets. I mean, I hope that
I do them. I just make them pay me for it, and they be hesitating to pay for it because the natural me likes to throw in a few colorful words. So that's just my natural, rhythm. So in order to fight that, you gotta give me a couple $1,000 to make me remember, hey, keep it clean.
That's what happened.
They gave me a couple of dollars today for TV. I'm not gonna even lie to y'all. I got a couple $dollars for doing TV today. The check gonna come in like 6 months. TV pay you slow, but I did get the couple $dollars though.
Yeah,
I signed the paperwork and everything.
How did you get that gig?
Good friend of mine, Quincy Carr. He actually was one of my, I picked up a lot of game from him. He's he's local to the Virginia area. He does a brand called the Quality Comedy Series. And his thing is basically proving that comedians who do have a reputation for being a more blue that's what we call people who curse in comedy. They're blue. Comedians who are more blue, give them a platform to say, hey, and challenge them and say, hey, can you be clean? Can you? And we're not saying don't talk about this, don't talk about that. Just don't curse.
Yeah.
Make it so that people can enjoy it. We can still talk about the same stuff. You can still keep the same energy. Just don't curse. And he was one of the first people to challenge me to do that. And he has a competition where he's like, and I won the competition. And people were like shocked, like, you got him to not curse? Oh my God, I see him. All he does is curse and smoke weed. That's what he does. And I was like, no, I can not curse. I can. So doing that with him, me and him just kind of started doing a little bit of business together because I have a show here. He has a show, that Quality Comedy Show. So I kind of book them together so that if we do book a comedian, you have multiple shows to come do here in Virginia as opposed to just one. So you'll do his show clean and then you can come do my show dirty and then you make 2 checks. So we started working together and then he was like, do you want to be on TV? You think you could? Oh, I got the clean. He's like, well, come on, let's put you on. Yeah.
I'm so happy he did that. You know what? I remember back in the day, back in the 90s, when I worked with some artists, when I was doing the thing for the Southeast region with Sony. And I used to tell the artists and the rappers, like, you got to have a clean version. And a lot of times, if somebody, back in the day, the radio wasn't going to put you on if you didn't have a clean version.
Version.
From everything now. But you was not getting no time. And I said, you got to be able to, like right on the spot, if somebody said, give me 2 minutes, freestyle, you got to be able to flow and you got to be able to do it. And so many of them would say, I don't have no clean version. I said, well, you ain't ready. Right. So I'm so proud that you were able to do that. Even if you make sure that when you're writing every day, include one clean version every day so that you build in a set of clean, and build that clean set.
Well, that's the tricky part with when you say clean, because some people they qualify clean as content as well, not just don't curse.
Not the content. I mean, people got to get over it. You're going to talk about everyday stuff. Everyday stuff includes sex. It includes all those topics.
Like today, they was really strict about, hey, don't get too sexual on stage. I'm like, okay, I get. Even though this is going to air on Friday nights, we won't be too sexual on stage. But they didn't know I was about to talk about drugs the whole time.
Oh man! So let me ask you something. I'm going to give you the spotlight, right? And I want you to talk to the comedian who is just getting into the game, that wants to know what it takes, what they need to do. Talk to that person who is interested in doing comedy. They don't know where to start, but they're very interested. What are you going to tell them? And they're good. You see that they have the personality, they have the stage presence, but they want to do comedy.
They're good, and they're good. They're really good, right?
Yeah.
All right, this is going to be the hardest thing I'm going to ever have to tell a person, but quit. Give up. Don't do this. Don't do this at all. Don't you want to love yourself? Don't you want to have high self-esteem? You don't want this. This thing is, I just told you, comedy is an abusive girlfriend. She gaslights. She's a narcissist. She doesn't reciprocate. She's going to abuse. She's going to use you up. And best case scenario, you can talk about how you used to do on Def Jam and Comic View, and you can talk to some young comedians about what they need to do so that they don't the same fate that befell you doesn't befall them. This thing will have you questioning yourself every night. You will have 300 people in the club, standing ovation, and all you can dwell on is the part of the joke that you messed up. You don't even get to satisfy yourself and enjoy those moments, those little wins. Now, if you're still here listening and you still want to continue on, I'm going to tell you this. Be prepared for a hard road. It's hard. It's lonely out there. It will test your faith in everything. It will test your faith in God. It will test your faith in your own skill and your own creativity. You will think you're crazy at times, but you got to be a little crazy.
Wow.
And I will tell you some advice that I'm going to give credit to my homie Stevie J. Comedian Stevie J said, I'm going to give you some advice. Don't take no advice. Because they can't see it how you see it. They can't present you how you present you. People will tell you don't do that so that they can go do you. I've watched it. I've seen people tell me don't curse. You can't call women bitches. And I've seen these niggas never said the word bitch in 20 years. And now all of a sudden I look at they said and it's bitch this, bitch that, bitch this, bitch that. And they don't know that I don't even use the word bitch in my set. For real, for real. So niggas will tell you what not to do so that they can go do it, and they want to steal your swag. So don't take no advice. Do you. God set a mission on you. He gave you a vision. Everybody else can't see it.
Wow.
And you got to be delusional. Believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself. If you had to start all over today, what would you do different?
What would I do different? I would have slept with that woman and got that show that she was trying to get. I would have put a little bit out there. I don't know what these women talk about. I'd have did a little quid pro quo to get better. These women be trying to talk about something. I'm not sleeping my way to the top. I would. It makes it that much easier. Because if you're really good and you sleep your way to the top, then your talent is validated a little quicker. That's what I say. You see, the problem is they don't want to sleep their way to the top because they're not good. They know they would only be sleeping their way to the top.
So men don't have that challenge or problem, right?
Yes, we do. I was just talking with my brothers about it earlier today about some of the women in this industry. Oh, they run trains on men. They will run a train on. It'd be a couple of these comedy chicks. They'd be like, "Oh, he look good, girl. Let's sit on his face together." And they say real raw stuff like that. They absolutely. If some of the stuff that I've heard from female comedians, if a male comedian said it, the cancel culture, God, this over. They gonna be sitting in the jail cell with the dude, what's his name, Harvey Weinstein. He died, right? But didn't he die? Okay, yeah, they be sitting right there with Jeffrey Epstein and Harvey and you'd be in a jail cell next to Diddy if a man said the thing that these women be saying.
Demetrius said the undefeated don't worry about no hard roads. It ain't never been easy.
Exactly. That's what I call my people, my supporters. They're called the undefeated.
Yeah.
Because I tell them like this. First of all, y'all are undefeated because the comments are undefeated. If you ever see me live, if you see me on these types of platforms and the people in the comments, those comments are undefeated. Don't argue with them. Just let them have it. That's why I tell people, just let them have it because the comments are undefeated. Yeah. But also, I translate it like this. Every day you wake up, where you give it another shot. The day before might have been trash, and you might not be motivated to go again. But every day you get up and you try again, you didn't lose. Mm-hmm. So you're undefeated.
Amen.
Because there's another chance to win. So you undefeated. So keep going. Keep going.
So you've done radio. You did your TV today. What next? What is the goal? By 5 years from now, what does Vino want to have accomplished?
5 years from now, I would like to say that I'm on my own successful tour where I'm headlining things, or at least a part of a major tour where I can get a lot of money. Or maybe a TV. Maybe I'll do me a Tubi movie this year. Who knows? It'd be a lot of movie roles that people be asking me to get in on, but I don't really see their vision. So I'll be passing on. I'll be like, that movie don't seem like it. Yeah,
you passing up movie roles, Vino?
I mean, they Tubi movie. It ain't like, some of my more famous friends have called me and said, hey, you want to be in Friday, the last Friday? Nobody, Ice Cube ain't called me yet and said, I would never turn Cube. If you call me, I'm not going to ever turn you down, Cube.
But don't turn down the small one. Don't despise not small beginnings.
No, I'm not despising small beginnings, but they be coming to me with some crazy ideas. They was like, you gonna play the kingpin, but you got blonde dreads. And I'm like, that don't even sound like.
So there are things that Vino won't do. There are roles that he won't take. There are shows that you won't do. I mean, because for ladies or sometimes people in entertainment, there's just certain things they won't do. They're not compromising their standard. Is there anything that Vino is just not doing, even if it's the celebrity that come?
It's gonna be hard for me to play a gay role where I gotta be like if I'm just hey y'all and I gotta act funny or something. But if it's gotta be a role where I gotta touch or kiss a man, I'm not sure. We gotta talk about how much money we talking. How much? Like I'm not saying nothing's. I'm saying like some things are definitely off the table. But how much money again? That's the kind of energy I'm calling. How much money we see? No. How? You gonna add another zero? Yeah, because it's irresponsible to turn down some money. That's just irresponsible. God don't like when you turn down His blessings. I'm gonna just say that.
Yeah. So Vino, no children in the foreplan.
In my plan?
In the foreplan, yes.
I don't have a plan. I feel like God makes that plan, but I wouldn't mind. When I was younger, I was, I stayed away from that. I took, certain measures to make sure that I wasn't a father. I used to say crazy stuff to women to get them to go, take that little clinic run. My most famous one was I looked at a girl. She told me she was pregnant. I said, I got shot at 3 times this week. You want me to be the father of your child?
So you don't want to get married and have children?
No, I do. I do. But the life I was living previously was not in my plan. Now that I'm kind of living a slower life, like I never thought I'd be 40 something. I never thought I'd be this old. I never thought I didn't want a child growing up with no father. I grew up with my father dying early. So I want my kid to have a father that's going early. So I'm like, yeah, why would I do all that? I'm not gonna make no babies. I want all these extra bills, and I don't even trust these women half the time.
Yeah.
I don't even trust these. I know that most kids get their complexes and they messed up parts from their mom.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of mental illness and people are going through some stuff, and that's what I wanted to come to next. And I appreciate you answering these questions. So they say comedians, they carry a lot of baggage. A lot of times they say, comedians, they have a lot of issues, and I say that for all entertainers, not just comedians, but entertainers. The entertainment lifestyle carries a lot of weight on individuals. And how do you handle those pressures? I mean, how do you balance it so that you don't lose your mind?
Well, for one, I've been going to therapy. I go to therapy. You got to talk this shit out. But outside of just the conventional standard, like what would be the best answer, I honestly realized that I'm a mess when I'm not on stage. So I need to hit the stage once a week just to maintain some normalcy in my daily mindset. Like I meditate, smoke a lot of weed, I do yoga. Like I said, the therapy.
You do yoga? Nice.
Like I said, I've been taking a lot of drastic steps in changing my diet. Like the diet you eat directly fuels how your brain works. I realized that when I'm eating bad on the road, I have bad thoughts. When I'm eating good, I have better thoughts. When I be better with the exercise, my mind gets clear. When I get some sweat, I sweat out toxins and I sweat out impure thoughts. Like I feel like my brain just functions better with healthier choices.
You know what, Vino, you are an interesting individual. You know, you're very gifted, you're intellectual, a lot more intellectual than people really probably know because you're always cutting up. You're always cutting up and acting a fool. So they probably just think you're crazy, but they don't even know you smart. You got a brain on
I keep telling them I voted most likely to succeed. I'm probably the best math student that ever walked the halls of Weequahic High School, but nobody ever listens when I say those things. Like
you.
I never did homework past the 5th grade, and I kept a great grade point average. I don't understand that, but you get A's on every test, and it's real easy.
You could probably reach some bad kids in school, like high school or college, with your comedy.
Yeah, I do that now. I'm reaching out. I was just with some kids from Norfolk State. You know, they wanted to buy weed from me. I'm gonna be real with you. They wanted to buy some weed from me. I said, bro, you don't need to be running packs, man. Go to your classes, get this internship, get out there, man. Be something that we could use. I need a good cameraman one of these days. I'm gonna need like a production assistant or something. Like, don't be out here selling dope. You got talent. I try to tell people you got talent. I try to tell people the stuff that they told me that I didn't listen to.
Wow. Well, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for everything that you're doing, everything that you've achieved, for leaving Newark, New Jersey, and making a life for yourself in Virginia, making a name for yourself. I see you with some kind of a CD. You didn't say anything about wanting to put out some product. Like, are you putting out any product? Are you writing any books? Are you doing anything like that?
I'm working on a few things in the cut right now. I'm really trying to secure up this deal to get a couple of these podcasts I do on the bigger platforms and monetize them in different ways. Right now though, it's really just boiling down to hit the road, grow the brand, grow the exposure, like to where more people follow me and more people I can because the honesty of it is, and I hate to be that guy, but it's a numbers game nowadays.
Yes,
The
it is.
club does not care how funny you are, how much creativity you bring, how versatile you are on stage. They don't care that it will be an awesome show. They care that people follow you. They don't have to spend money on ad dollars. And you can say, hey, folks, I'm coming to your city and fill their room.
That's it.
So I have to grow the numbers. Like that's my mission right now. I buckled down and got everything else right. Whereas I know that I'm gonna give you a solid show. I know when I touch that stage, you're gonna be like, I got my money's worth with Vino today. But now I need you all to respond and help me out and follow this little name right here, that Big Vino Comedy, on every platform. And just follow it. Just follow it. You see something I do, if you like it, it takes nothing to hit the little triangle, share it. The little paper plane, share it. Share it to your story real fast. That's all you gotta do. If more people find out about me, I can come to your city quicker. And maybe we can sit down and puff a J together, have a little sip, Who knows? I don't know what's going to happen in my love life. I might find a lady in my dreams in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Who knows?
Follow
I'm trying to get out there.
Vino Comedy on all platforms. Now, Vino, you have a YouTube channel and you have the comedic therapy also, right? Talk to me about that. Tell people what your goal is with that channel and why they should follow you on that channel.
Well, Big Vino Comedy on YouTube, same thing on everything, Big Vino Comedy. It is just a platform where I could dump content. So we do all the podcasts that you can catch out there. So you'll catch me on Psycho Babble, you'll catch me on Fat Nigga Friday, you'll catch me on MVP. I will look. Comedictherapy.xyz is my website, and you can watch everything from there. You can go to any of these other websites from there. It's comedic. It's www.comedictherapy.xyz. Now I did .xyz instead of .com because I feel like we get the last laugh. So XYZ is the last, XYZ, we get the last laugh. So that's for the undefeated. And if you come and check me on there, you will find everything. You will find dates for shows, podcasts. You will find pictures, bio, clips. You can see who the famous people I know and I'll be talking about.
So let's
People,
stop
you
right
know.
there. Let's stop with the shows. I see you got some shows coming up. I have it. I'm actually showing it. Where's the next show they can catch you at?
The next show I got is next weekend. It's Sunday, May 18th. It's called the Peabody's Comedy Brunch. I do that every once a month on Sundays in Virginia Beach, Virginia. This summer, though, we got some good news because we've added extra days. So we're not just doing it once a month in the summertime. We're going to do extra because we get a lot of tourists down here in Virginia, and we've established a market for it. People show up for this thing now. So we're going to be sitting there with 5,000 tourists and 5 million people that come through this area every year between Memorial Day and Labor Day. We're going to see some of those people. So this is a great venue for people to come, do what they do, get some new fans. Those people love to come out because we set it up so that the brunch runs during checkout. And, you know, checkout on a Sunday, people don't like to go straight home if you're at a beach. So it gives them something to do while, you know, they get in that beach mood. So you come out, have some mimosas, eat some breakfast, some French toast and bacon and eggs and whatnot, and relax and have a laugh. Oh yeah, that's MVP. We've been doing this thing at the Playhouse down in North Carolina. They like us to come and do live recordings because the audience loves to get rowdy when we do that. And we do live podcasts. So that's my partner Victoria said it. Shout out Victoria said it, man. We do a lot with them. I'll actually be going down there again this summer. That will be coming up in August, I believe.
What part of North Carolina?
That is Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Jacksonville. So you be all in North Carolina. Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. Look. My game plan was to spread. You see, once I got good in Virginia Beach, I spread out into Richmond. Once I got good in Richmond, I spread up into DC. And then I spread down in North Carolina. And we just gonna spread. This thing is gonna take over. It's happening slowly but surely.
And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. Big Vino, the headshot. You see him, he's out there, he's on stage, he's making you laugh, he's doing what
Shout out Baltimore. That picture in the red was at Baltimore, man. I love Baltimore. Baltimore is one of my favorite cities to perform in. I will tell you that.
Nice. All right, check him out. He's good, y'all. I've seen him on stage. He'll make you laugh. He's definitely making his way around. He's on a couple of podcasts. So you can see him online. If you search Big Vino comedy, you'll see him, you'll find him. And go check him out. Go see his shows and book him. How can they book him?
I forgot that was on there. I gotta go look at my own website sometimes.
Yeah.
I be forgetting what I be putting up there sometimes.
So comedic therapy, and you can find his
.xyz. Yep. Not .com, .xyz. And that's the launch pad. You can get to everything from there. Sign up for the email list too, y'all. If y'all in the email list, I'll let you know when I'm coming to your city. I'll let you know because I'm really gonna be starting my own tour in a second. They're gonna start giving me one-nighters in places. I will be having one in Raleigh soon down at Good Nights.
Okay, good. So we're gonna check that out. So this is where you want them to sign up, and also if they want to book you, right?
Yep, you can do everything from right there. And holla at me. I've been paying for this website for years. I knew I was invested in this because I bought this website domain name for 10 years.
Comedic therapy. I love it. Comedic therapy.
Comedic therapy.
We got the merchandise coming up.
Oh yeah, we got the comedic therapy hats, comedic therapy t-shirts. I got my my catchphrase. You know, I really say this to everybody. I say, smoke weed when you wake up. It gives your day high hopes. So you can get that on a t-shirt or a hoodie. We have the F sickle cell hoodie.
You got a comedic brunch.
That's the next one coming up. I didn't even mention that. So on the 15th, the 15th, on May 18th, because it's the week after Mother's Day. We couldn't line up to get Mother's Day for the brunch. So I do the week after. I call it the Boss Lady Takeover. You know, because I'm not going to say Mother's Day after Mother's Day, because some people will be the next week like, it's the Mother's Day show. No, Mother's Day was last week. This is the Boss Lady Takeover. And I let my co-host Victoria said it because she's a mother. I let her host, and I bring in two other mothers who are absolutely phenomenal and hilarious. And this month we got the homegirl Stiletto. She's gonna be closing out the show, and I got the homegirl DJ Just Brooklyn. She is super funny out of Richmond, and this is like one of her first main gigs. So it's like, I'm happy to bring her to the stage. She's DJed events for me. She's one of the panelists on Psycho Babble and Fat Nigga Friday.
Okay.
And she's just really funny. So I said, hey, why don't you just actually do some comedy this time? Like, instead of just saying funny shit from the side, jump in and get on stage and do it.
So you got 3 boss ladies. 3 of them.
3 boss ladies.
It's gonna
boss
be
lady takeover. You just showed me something. I gotta update that flyer because that flyer looks a little bit different now. But we're gonna update it.
And so it's gonna be at Peabody's nightclub at 209 21st Street in Virginia.
Virginia. Right there down on the ocean front. And for people who don't know, Peabody's is actually the oldest club on the ocean front. Like when I say like the Drifters used to play there.
And this is the merchandise they can get.
Yeah, that's the merchandise. That red hoodie, that's my F Sickle Cell High Hopes hoodie. Couple of hats, buckets, scullies, beanies, whatever you want to call them. Couple trucker hats. I got my little comedic therapy tumbler. You know, we got a whole bunch more stuff. So you get anything, man. Peruse that. Feel free. People buy from that all the time too. I'm shocked. Like it's actually funny because the last couple of months the website been paying for itself, which I'm very happy about.
Testimonial, they say he dropped by our show last week and absolutely destroyed like he always does. And they said that in house favorite, he has a direct line to my funny bone, probably your favorite comedian's favorite comedian. So ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Big Vino. Go support. Big Vino, go support. You're seeing he's doing it. He's making his way. He's doing his thing. We got to support one another. Check out his website, Big Vino Comedy everywhere. Big Vino Comedy. You see him with DL. You see him out there. He's doing his thing, y'all. He's doing his thing. So just check
that picture right there with Ali was actually the time I was talking about. That changed my life.
Yeah, man. And
Rodney Perry, Miss Pat.
Come on now. He's doing his thing, y'all. So go support my man. Go support him. All right, y'all. Don't hesitate. So if you just meet him for the first time, you see he's the real deal. Check him out and please go support him. He is Big Vino, y'all. We want you to make sure you show him some love. All right, Big Vino. Any closing comments? I thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate you. I appreciate the time. I know we talked about it for a minute. Deborah Anthony said, come to St. Louis. She said, come to St. Louis.
I'm working on that, actually. I'm definitely working on St. Louis because I got some people out there who said the club there at Helium or one of the Funny Bones would probably give me a night. So when I come to Helium or when I'm out in the Lou, first of all, I need you there. Don't play. Don't play. I need some. I know you got to know somebody from St. Louis to be in St. Louis.
Yeah, she's Deb the counselor. That's Deb the counselor. And so on Instagram, she's Deb the counselor. So check her out. Follow her, Deb the counselor. Thank you for popping in, Deb. And so
appreciate you.
Yeah, make sure that you check her out. Vino, any closing comment that you want to tell the people about why they need to book you, why they need to support you, why you do what you do overall?
Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. Okay, first of all, y'all need to book me because y'all be booking a bunch of these whack people. So y'all been getting these whack, watered down, funny versions of people, and I'm gonna let you know if you like that raw, that uncut, that you gonna go home. I promise you, you gonna go home and be saying 3 of my jokes at least for the next week. That's how funny I am. I'm giving you, I'm putting that on it. If you see me, you're gonna be quoting at least 3 of my jokes for the next week. It's gonna come up in conversation. You and your friends going, buttercream girl, you're gonna have a good time. Okay. Secondly, ladies, you come to my show, you might find the love of your life. Or you might find the man that you want your man to be more like. You see what I'm saying? You be like, baby, you got to be more like him. But honestly, if you really just want to know the truth, come out, support me so that I don't have to go back to a life of crime. Because that is what we really don't want. I feel like you'd rather see me on Comedy Central than Cops. So love on me while I'm here. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I'm just talking. Look, y'all, check me out, man. I really appreciate y'all. I do it because I want to see y'all smile, man. It's enough bullshit going on in the world. It's enough shit bringing us down. I just want to do a little something to bring you up, man. And that's really the long and short of it. I appreciate each and every one of y'all, even if you don't mess with me. I appreciate you for having the boldness to say, you know what, I'm going to stay away from the funniest, hottest thing out right now. Because it takes a lot of conviction to see people having a good time and still not want to be a part of it. And I commend you on that.
Vino, y'all, that's Big Vino. Y'all check him out. Please go support him. Vino, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I enjoy you. I hope. Let me know the next time you come. You got my information. Let me know the next time you come to this area.
I'll be down there. I will be down there. Like I said, I'm out there. I think I got a date out there June 7th in Durham. I'll probably be out there a little bit ahead of time. I might breeze through there Memorial Day weekend. Because I fly out of Raleigh a lot because the flights out of Raleigh are cheaper.
Okay.
The flights when I be trying to leave Virginia be like $700-800, and then I go to Raleigh and then they be like $350.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I'm like, okay, yeah, let's fly out of Raleigh from now on. So I'm out there, and then when I get that date for good nights, or like they get me for the improv down there too, I'll let you know. And everybody can come on out. We'll set it up. Make sure everybody know what's going on.
And Demetrius said y'all going live at 10 o'clock Eastern. So where they need to go for 10 o'clock? Where they need to come to?
Go over to the Big Vino channel on YouTube. Big Vino Comedy. Type that in. We got a thing we do every Wednesday. It's called Psychobabble. Basically, since I've been doing, my little mental health check and, checking in with therapy, I've realized that, there are a lot of things that people go through that they probably would like to share with folks as well, and like when you find out that somebody's going through the same shit that you're going through, it don't seem as bad.
That's true. And it
don't seem as bad.
That's what story time is all about. That's what story time is all about. People sharing their stories so that other people can realize they're not in it by themselves. So I want to thank you so much. You might come by story time and scroll through the interviews and find someone who had a story that you can relate to. You heard him say he was in New Jersey. He got tired of the lifestyle. He was out there with the women, the drugs, and doing everything. You heard him say jail. We didn't really talk about the jail time he did, how much time he did. But you heard
I did a whole bunch of jail time. I don't want to even misrepresent that for my fellow. I did a little bit of jail time. I don't do jail for real. I learned a long time ago, money keep you out.
Okay. But
if you got the money, they will never really lock you up if you know how to pay the system. So most I ever did at one stretch was like 7 months at a time. I never did no like years. I never been to prison. I've been to jail.
Okay, that's the difference. But listen, we know him at Big Vino. Check him out on all platforms and definitely go see him. And let me know what you think when you go see him if you just heard him for the first time. Join us back Sunday, 8 p.m. We'll be back here 8 p.m. on Story Time. So check us out. I'll let you go get ready for your show, Vino. I appreciate you.
Oh, look, I'm ready. Look, all I'm gonna do is take this shirt off, put another shirt on, and act like I'm somewhere else in my house. I'm gonna go just sit against a different wall.
Thank you for that, Deb. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. This is fun.
You know, we don't get a lot of people sometimes join the show, but we get a lot of people, a lot of action, and we're going to spread this out. And you will be heard right now. You know, we appreciate it. We appreciate you coming through and being part of it. And we'll see you on the next Story Time, guys. My name is Crystal. I'm your Hope Catalyst. My mission is to stir up the gift, instill hope, and save lives. And if you have a story, your story matters. So come on over here and let us tell it. And we'll see you next time, 8 p.m. Sunday. Thank you, Vino. See you guys on the next story.
A catalyst for change with the chance to thrive. Crystal is the one to stir up gifts and save lives. You get exposure, promotion, and marketing too. And advertise for business owners just like you. On Storytime, your interview is global. Virtual or in person, just come on the show. Yo, your story matters. Crystals will open the door. 40 years of experience, ready to give you more on Storytime. Get ready for Storytime. Hey, come on.